Hello, can you guys hear me now? Not sure what happened. My mic settings had changed. I was just talking to myself for a very long time here. Can you guys hear me now? Just testing. Let me know if you guys can hear me. All right. Wow. What a disaster. Anyway, so as I was saying, I'm going to dive back into the daily chart. We got that rejection at those levels, and a lot of people are caught net short here. That's why you're seeing that big squeeze here in the pre-market. And you know, a lot of people from yesterday and actually Tuesday, they were in a lot of short positions because of that doji candle coming into yesterday. A lot of net short positions. Now with this data coming out that's slightly positive, you're getting that short covering here in the pre-market. That's why this move is so significant. We've already moved close to 3% here in the pre-market. So definitely going to have to be a little cautious out of the open to see where the market's going to go. But with that said, 386 is the level you need to focus on. The move has already been so extended to the upside. You have to wait and see, are we going to consolidate here and then roll over, or are we going to consolidate and break to the upside? You need that consolidation to take place. Don't blindly buy calls up here and expect to move up, because you can really easily just reject and fall down. Okay, so we have to keep an eye on this 386 level. Above that, we could look to push 389, 390, but this move is now really extended to the upside. We're going to have to wait for some sort of a pullback. If we do reject this 386 level, you could very easily come back down 383, 381 to try to fill this overnight gap. We closed at like 374 yesterday. Now if we're going to open anywhere above 383, that's almost a 9-point move. And there's going to be a big gap on the downside. So the possibility of a gap fill is there as well. So don't really lean in heavy on the long side unless there's a break of resistance that takes place. So I guess you guys missed all my good mornings as well. So I did say good morning to everybody. I just wasn't able to, you guys didn't hear me. But anyways, if you guys are still here, go ahead and smash that like button. You guys are the true OGs who stuck around even though there was no audio. So let's dive into the Qs. Good thing I looked on the screen there. All right, diving into the Qs here. Let's take a look at a clean chart. Very similar look to the SPY. Again, you were almost about to put in that H here, which would have been really ugly if it did pan out. And it would have been an H on the daily to trigger to the downside. But again, just like the SPY, we had this doji candle off of this 20 moving average, and then the following day was a very bearish day that took place. So again, net shorts were probably in this trade yesterday, and this move here is a little bit of a short covering as well. Okay, so let's dive into the 10-minute time frame. I'm going to throw my levels on here and take a look at that. Perfect. Again, 273.36 is that level we're seeing this rejection at here at on the Qs, and also the 274 is a little bit of an intraday pivot. So we're gonna have to focus on the 274 level if we're looking to kind of push higher into that 276, 278. All right, so this level is gonna be the level just like we have on the SPY at 386. This is gonna be the 273. 430, 274 level that we have to monitor if we're going to go higher. Okay, and the same thing stands here. You know, we're SPY and the Qs are moving very similarly. If we can consolidate and break out, great. If not, we're going to roll over and potentially try to fill this gap fill back down to 263 where we open. Might not go all the way down, but we do have the possibility of coming down to 269, 267. Okay, so be aware of that. Wait for some sort of a consolidation pattern before you get involved. You don't want to be chasing things right out of the open after a 4% move on the market. You just don't want to be caught in a really bad position where things go against you. Okay, unless there's an actual setup that you see that's happening in the specific ticker itself. Maybe it's not following the SPY and so forth. Okay, so with that said, these are the levels. As always, you guys can take screenshots of this and save it for your record if you need to. I'm just gonna go over the free alerts, but at this point it looks like those free alerts have all triggered to the correct side. So the first one on the list was Airbnb, 96 calls over 95. Sorry, was that today? Yeah, 96 calls over 97. So I was watching for this 97 break on it. Obviously, we're back above that. So let's see if we can come up with some new levels here now. So for those of you that are tuned in, you can kind of see what levels to trigger off of here. Okay, so again, you have that resistance right there at that 102. That's the level that you're going to have to break, and then you're going to see resistance at this 105 level. Okay, so if you want to take this to the upside, you got to wait for that 102 level to break. Then you can penetrate this and push it towards that top side resistance from the prior day here on November 2nd into that 105 area. Okay, that's what I would pay attention to. On the downside, you would really have to wait for a reversal pattern to present itself, whether it's a double top, ascending triangle, and so forth. Okay. Now, next one on the list was plug. Let's jump into plug. Plug, I had this one, 15 calls over 15. Looks like it got above that here now, so we're really gonna have to wait and see what this level here pans out for us. You can see we have decent support, which turned into resistance, and now we're right above it. So we can maintain above 1550, 1560, then we can continue to the upside and push back into the 1630 level in regards to that. If we reject, put in a reversal, then continuation back to the downside will be possible, but that's where you want to look for those patterns. You know, are we going to have a situation where, you know, the market opens and we put in a double top, and then once the neckline breaks, this thing really comes back down to try to fill the gap? That's a possibility, right? But you always want to wait, see how this thing opens. Is it going to flag, consolidate for the next leg up, or is it going to roll over and start coming back down? So now we're above that 1540 level. Great. We could try to look to push it back up towards that 16. If this level holds here, if this market decides to kind of wait for us out of the open. Next one's coin. So like everything is getting the move here with the market. So coin is another one that you can keep an eye on. I actually also really liked Mara for a reversal, simply because you have this inverted hammer at support. Oftentimes this can lead to a reversal like that. So was watching this one as well. But with that said, let's take a look at coin. Coin, a little bit of doji here, not the cleanest doji at that support level at 44.20, and kind of pushing up here. I think the safe level to watch on coin for the upside would have to be, again, at these areas of resistance that you're kind of consolidating at right now, the 50-20 area. If you get above that, great. You should be able to push at least back towards that 53, which is something that I definitely would watch going into the open. All right. So if you guys are still here, go ahead, smash that like button. I'm going to dive back into the comment section. If you guys have any questions in regards to tickers you want me to take a look at, let me know. We'll go over some of the tickers you guys want. Let me know if it's a day trade, swing trade, and I'll help you guys. Let's see. Sound, no sound better. Now you guys can hear me, all good. Loud and clear. Edgar, good morning. Sky, perfect. Amazon Philly, good morning. I think, yeah, Amazon, you asked about plug, so we just spoke about that very briefly here. You're in an area that if you hold above 1550, you could try to continue pushing here. You got to understand, there's a lot of people that are net short, and this squeeze is happening. This APPS had earnings today. This was another one that I was watching. 1350 was a good resistance level. Again, the idea on APPS was just that. Before the market actually before the CPI data came out, you have this massive sell-off that takes place, and then earnings comes out, and just, you know, you get that massive gap up. So everybody in the last 6 days that are net short are going to try to cover their position here, and that's what causes this move up here. Let's take a look. Amazon, please. All right, let's take a look at Amazon. So let's start from the daily as always, guys. So Amazon, again, very similar thing here. You have the key levels breaking down with significant volume. You have a lot of people net short here. And this move is kind of fueling a little bit of a short squeeze to the upside on these names. Let's go back to So 91.60 is the level we're kind of sitting at here, 91.60, and that's going to put us right here. That's putting us right here against this resistance level. All right, so I mean, it's not out of the water to really see a full-on daily reversal on Amazon. You would have to get above 92.30, but it is at resistance here. Again, just like everything else I talked about, you have to wait for this to kind of present itself. There's no trigger points. Everything has kind of been demolished in the pre-market here, just on this massive move up, and you don't want to be that person that just randomly buys calls here and expects this thing to kind of plummet and go down. Okay, so you have to wait for, again, those patterns we've talked about, whether that's a pennant that forms and then you break out right there, or you know, a falling wedge. If we push out and you fall into a falling wedge, then that's where you want to take it. You got to wait for some sort of a pattern at these levels, or a reversal double top. Either way, you have to wait for something to present itself. There's no trigger points here that I can give you to kind of tell you, okay, take it long over 91.60, because that would be naive of me to say. After this big move up from 86 to 91, just going long here blindly is not the correct way to do things. AAL for a swing, inverse head and shoulders on the daily. All right, let's take a look at AAL. Nice. Okay. All right, so that 1467 is that level that would essentially trigger this up to the upside. Yeah, I don't mind this. You'd have to really clear these levels here that it's consolidating at right now in the pre-market, and then you know your first target would have to be this right here, a 4% move towards 1530. That's really as far as you could go. You have lots of resistance here at these levels, at this level, and then you have the 200 moving average right above you. So this thing, if it does get above here, you could try to take the swing for a push up to this area right here. Okay, so I think I would wait for that to see if we can close above 1467, 1450, then take the calls for the swing into that 200 moving average. Every time we've come up to it, we reject it, so that's why I don't want to risk anything. That would be your kind of exit area at that point. Went wrong on CPI data. Oh, that's why I always tell people, don't estimate these, don't guess these. And I've said it before, when everyone thinks it's negative, then it's usually the opposite. It's always the case. But anyways, this is why you don't gamble on these, and hopefully none of you got hurt on that big move up here. Unfortunately, I know a few people that did buy puts, but hopefully they stayed safe. Perfect. Let's see. Amazon. Talked about that. We talked about AAL. All right. Pretty much it. Okay, so let's take a look at PayPal then. Since nobody else has tickers, that's a surprise. Let's take a look at PayPal. PayPal is flagging here nicely again too. Like I said, a lot of these names are going to be flagging really nicely. Airbnb, I really like Airbnb. Sitting really nicely here, right under that 102 level we talked about. I'll keep a close eye on this one, see if that breaks out. Trying to see what else. Coin is doing great as well. So a lot of these names are just popping up and flagging on the pre-market here. So you're gonna have to wait for those to kind of explode to the upside. Me and Skyzen are going to a strip club today. Nice. I guess you two were the ones that went long, huh? Drinks on Sky. Perfect. Awesome, guys. So yeah, if there's no more tickers, then we're gonna cut the stream a little early today. I gotta jump back into the Discord and see how we can come up with some new trigger points, because this CPI data just ripped the market. All right, if you guys are still here, thank you. Apologies for the hiccup on the microphone. Don't really know what happened to my OBS and why my mic settings were changed, but it is what it is. Welcome to technology. Thank you guys all for tuning in. Go ahead, smash that like button if you haven't done so already. I greatly appreciate it, and we'll catch you next time right here on YouTube. Thank you for watching. Adios.